it's a new episode. Guy who's listening to this.
Yep. Or girl.
Fuck half the hosts on this podcast.
Yeah.
We've replaced. I think we did it's a pretty good upgrade here. We traded both Nate and Ty for Dustin.
I've legally changed my name
To
Nate
and Ty. Yeah, Ty's got double dragon so bad that he's bleeding out of his every orifice in his body. And then Nate is, I don't know, what's something funny that Nate's doing? Oh, he's just gay.
He's trying to suck his own dick.
Yeah, there it is. All right, and instead we have Dustin.
Hi, guys.
Again.
I'm back.
He returns.
And where we
Glorious
left
return.
off, I said, like, very vaguely, I would tell the story of on how I was molested. Just randomly. So I guess I have to lead with that, right?
Yeah, I think that's.
I would say so.
I think if you don't do that by law, we might have some issues.
Let's start in a very dark manner and let's end in a very high
Abyssal manner.
note. Yeah.
Yeah, or opposite. Start in
How low
abyssal.
can we go?
How low can we go? Let's go to the abyssal plane.
It's weird being molested.
I imagine.
Yeah, it's very weird because, like, you know how, like, when you think, like, if something like that was happening to you, you'd think you'd want to fight the person off and, like, do something.
No.
Complete opposite. I shut down.
Israel, you're an outlier.
I was brain dead. Like, literally, I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't do anything.
How old were you?
See, when people say, like,
This was yesterday.
it was actually by Israel if he picked me up.
Dude, don't say that shit.
No, but okay, so like usually when people say like, "Oh, I was molested at like 5 or 6," I feel worse because it's when I was 15. So like obviously it feels like I should have done like
Should have been like
a little harder job at being like, I'm getting my dick touched right now. I don't like this. Like, but yeah. So pretty much I don't know if I told you. I think I told it last time I was on the podcast, but I went to like I got kicked out of school.
Right.
Went to a whole different school.
Hold on,
So
turn your mic a little bit. Other way. The MXL should be like there's a little letters on there. There it goes. Yeah.
oh,
it's
okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So anyway, went to that school again, filled with like a bunch of fucking raw people. That
You did
are, like,
meth.
Scary. You do remember that part?
Yeah.
So there was this kid, who's like one of the gangbangers. He like recently came out of jail, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm friends with everybody. I'll be friends with you too. Like I don't care. But like we were sitting in the back of class together, and he was just being a weird dude, and I was like, all right, not liking this anymore. And like he just like. We sat in the very back of class, and just underneath the table, he kept like doing this. Like he kept rubbing back and forth on my thigh. And I was just like, you went to jail for way too long, my friend. Like I don't mess with this. And like, went a little too far up and started grabbing some,
The package.
And, yeah, like I shut down completely. And I was like, I always thought before that, like, oh, like if you were ever in a situation where like that was happening to you, like fight them off, tell them to fuck off. And I was just like, it was happening. And like the shock of it, I was just like, there's no way this is happening right now. And like, it was in school. We were in class. Like the teacher was literally teaching a lesson. And I was like, I'm going to fail because my dick is getting touched right now. This is 2 fails that I can't deal with right now. But, yeah, so that happened. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's so weird, like, to be a person that was sexually assaulted because you, like, never think it's going to happen to you until it happens.
It's like when people say, I'm not planning to get in a car accident.
And then it happens.
And then it
you're
happens.
Like, oh.
It's like when you get into the car accident and the radio is still playing, so you died to a soundtrack.
I don't know if it's like that.
It's exactly like that.
A similar story from.
I'm a Goofy Goober was playing in my head as my balls were getting fondled.
That's your soundtrack.
So, at Dane and I's high school, there's this girl. Wouldn't call her a slut, but
She was a strawberry.
if someone offered to fuck her, she would probably say yes. In middle
number. Huh? What?
God, no.
I didn't say anything.
Anyway, middle of class, she gets around. So her boyfriend of the week,
She gets around.
her boyfriend of the week, they sit next to each other in class. This isn't an AP class, by the way.
Tight.
I'm sitting there, and I look over, and they're both touching each other's genitals just in the middle of class. And part of me was like, this is
all
fucking hilarious. I have so much power right now. It'd take me like 3 words.
Ew, why does it look like that?
It'd take
You could stand up and go, yo!
like, just like out loud in class. It's like you have a lot of power in that situation.
Yeah.
You could absolutely ruin someone's school life by like saying something in that moment. But I chose not to. But like now that I've become more of what I am now, I would, without a heartbeat like moment of consideration, go back in time and say something.
He would have been on a special list for sure.
Witness protection program.
They both would. She started it.
Oh.
You saw the entire encounter go down?
They did it multiple times. Like, and it was every time. It was
Wow.
like
You can't
she
be the only
reaches
one who
over
noticed.
Definitely.
Oh no, was not the only one who noticed.
Speaking
Yeah.
of the story of how I was jerking off in class,
Oh, right.
I told the girl who I was looking at while I did it, W in the chat boys, she sent me nudes.
What? No way.
Literally, I
No,
told
you're
her
bullshitting.
the story and she said that's the hottest thing I've ever fucking heard. Boom. Made her made her OnlyFans free for me, sent me nudes, and then like I felt on top of the world. I was like,
There's no.
When was
like,
this?
it was like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, I'm saving this for the podcast. This is too good.
Man, because
That's
that would be
wild.
so easy for her to be like, you literally like.
You're a
Sexually
fucking
associated with me.
disgusted.
Yeah.
I can't believe you told her that.
Yeah, no, like one day, like I forgot how it even happened. Like I think I posted some depressing shit on my Instagram and she swiped up on it and I was like, eventually
what?
this is gonna lead to where eventually I'm gonna flip this around to where I want it to go. But yeah, W in the chat.
That is some. That's a pretty solid coincidence.
So random, but
I'm burping like crazy.
something finally worked.
Aha, XD random jacked off to you in class.
Literally, I told her every detail. I told her about the cum hand shooting up in the air and then me having a rut. Yeah, no, it worked.
Man.
Imagine hearing that. Imagine hearing that as a girl and some guy just says, hey, like, remember a couple years ago when we were in middle school, whipped out my penis and started touching it to your face. What's your initial reaction to that?
I would be pretty creeped out, I think. If I was in the mindset of like a teenage girl, I'd be pretty freaked out.
Telling her that was a complete toss up.
yeah.
That was a 90% to 10% toss up.
Not even. No, there's much worse odds there. there's in the list of universes that exists. There's like 3 out of infinity where that's the outcome.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has this theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you punch a wall enough times in the same spot over and over and over and over again, eventually your hand in the wall will fuse if you get it at the right second, at the right time, at the right angle. That's what that felt like, telling her that.
Today we're threading the needle through parallel dimensions.
What is it like in Star Wars where C-3PO's talking to Han Solo? And he's like, it's 3 million something to 1. And he goes, never tell me the odds. You beat the odds. You made it through the asteroid field.
I did. Oh my God. It's amazing. Living a storybook ending. We went from molestation to a high point.
You got
the
a good ending. I'll go ahead and tell a story that I've been meaning to tell on the podcast as well.
Yes.
That's I was going to tell this on our shortest episode of the podcast because we were running out of time. I think it was the episode immediately after ours because we ran over like 20 minutes last time you were on.
I'm a very talkative person.
Yeah, which is fine. But we decided to cut the next one short, but it was fine because we didn't really have anything else to talk about anyways, except for my one story, which I never told. And I wanted to wait till I got out of community college anyways, so I was like disconnected from it. No, I am. So here it goes. I had this teacher who, he's kind of said whatever he wanted. It came off. I had another friend who had the same teacher, and he rubbed him the wrong way. Like, my friend basically dropped out of community college because of this teacher, and also because of his philosophy class. So they were like, so imagine there's a little girl, and she's being tortured, but the world is perfect.
This is a Tarantino film.
Yeah. And then, like, that's the philosophy, and he was like, I can't take it anymore. So he dropped out. Anyways, but this other teacher, who would just say whatever he wanted, is like, just... What?
The dog is back.
The dog is back.
2 episodes in a row, I've been here for the dog.
The dog is back. He'll start whining at the door in about 5 minutes. But my other the teacher, he turns something in and he just rip it to shreds, just like absolutely just pin, just minutia.
I've had a couple teachers like that.
Which, in the moment you're like, I hate him, but yeah,
it's kind of like the music teacher in Whiplash.
Yeah,
where he's just such an abusive asshole.
Yeah, not that level.
Okay, not at that level.
Yeah,
but like just such an asshole to the main.
Where he's
character.
you need to kind of just like create conflict and to literally beat it into your students sometimes to make something great. But anyways, I think that movie's hilarious, by the way, but that's a topic for later.
Yeah.
But along with things where he would just say in class, he would just, like profanities he was fine with saying. Or in college, that's pretty normal at that point anyways, though. Or, sometimes he'd even edge on, like, old man racism, where you'd be like, okay, that's not something that people normally say anymore, but you know what? You're, like, 50 and from Detroit, so,
So he's like, I got a class full of coloreds coming in. I'm going to need, like, sir, I'm going to need you not to...
I'm going to need you to back up on that one. But actually, there may or may not... So... I can't remember what the first time was, but this teacher did say the first time was he was talking about, he was like, man, I miss not having caller ID because it just made talking on telephones so much more entertaining. And he said one time he was like still living in Detroit, so he was pretty young at the time.
Yeah.
And he gets a call from a dude, and the guy's like, hey man, is this Rebecca? Calling for a girl. Yeah. He's like, no, this is not Rebecca. This is not Rebecca. You have got the wrong number. And he's like, no. I made sure to get the number right. Like, you repeated it, Rebecca, right? And he's like, no, this is not Rebecca. This is not me. And the guy's like, man, are you for real? Man, she gave me the wrong number. And he goes, yes, I apologize, man. I don't know what to tell you. The guy's like, that's all right, my N-word. But my teacher straight up says it, hard R.
No,
hard R.
I don't know if you noticed it in your teacher's eyes, but when they're reading How to Kill a Mockingbird and they reach the page and their eyes light up like, so who wants to read this one? And you just, oh my God.
But and then there actually was like a black chick in our class she was like a political leader. She was like part of like the BLM whole sort of thing. Like she was one of the front people.
Oh, wow.
But she wasn't immediately like, this teacher's the worst. She was like, okay, hold on. Let's pause here for a sec. Was it ER or And he was like, oh, it was And she was like, no. It is not that.
I don't think a black person from Detroit would just hard R.
Just a white dude. Just obviously completely a white dude. And she was like, well, what's the difference? So she had to go into the whole like etymology of like the difference between each word. And he was like, oh, okay, so it was the other one. And then it just carried on. And then it happened again where this time he was talking about songs on the radio, and he was like, yeah, I just can't stand popular radio anymore. It's just always just like every N-word with the finger on the trigger N-word. And he just started like, and he did this joke twice.
They bleep all those. I've heard radio edits where they bleep out like the word like grenade.
I've heard them bleep out the word pot.
Yeah. They're very...
Very weird. I
Yeah.
know they don't want to have anything to do with bodily function. I learned that in one of my classes.
When you're singing your song and you're like, pee pee,
Pee 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 pee
and it's just.
I woke up and I in the bathroom.
Yeah, dude, they bleep out bathroom. That's got too much to do with bodily functions. But yeah, like it was, you know, I heard my teacher say the N-word probably total like 8 times in a year.
That
It's just, you know.
right.
And then I was just like, wow, this is real. And then the second time was a dude full of white dudes, and we were like, we're not touching this. We're backing off. So
Your dog has like mile-long eyelashes. It's kind of gross.
it's because he's got Ramen, you're tripping over the cord.
I don't think I don't have the physical features or aspects to be a
Dog.
activist.
Or a dog. Yeah,
Rest
that
in
was
peace,
the story.
DMX, baby.
Man, DMX.
Is that
X gonna give it to you.
But not like I really don't
what
have.
people do activists activity about?
Does everybody talk like
Yeah, we all. It's a 1,000,000-man march of people growling
dog out?
Yeah.
in Yonkers, New
Just all
York.
mad about the.
Not, but dude, I can't do like. It's the marching part. like, I'm such a fat fuck. Like, it's the marching part I can't do because I went to one of the marches in Slow, and I was like, this is a great thing to be behind. I'm totally for like social justice for black people, and this is a good thing to be doing. And I remember like the person who was leading it was like, all right, we're storming the highway. And I was like, we're doing what now? I'm like, yo, like
I can't outrun a car in my.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm with it. Like I'm like in any situation, doesn't matter how stupid or like, you know, non thought through it is, like I'll do it. I'm a ride or die type person. So I was just like, fuck it, let's go. So we all march onto the fucking freeway. We're hopping the fucking shit, and we start walking, and we're holding up traffic like a motherfucker. It was the tightest thing to see. Like people were on the overpass, like chanting with signs and shit. And I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever been.
That was about a year ago. Almost
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so while we're walking, I get a cramp in one of my legs, and I was just like, I gotta keep going. Like, fucking, okay, so like 50, 60 years ago, people are getting beat on the bridge at Selma, and they kept walking. I could get a cramp and still walk. Like, come on,
Yeah.
I'm pushing through this. I get that second cramp in my leg, I go down. I go down. I'm literally in the middle of the freeway, like in so much pain. And people are stopping for me. They're like, are you okay? Like, what happened? And I'm just like, I'm out of shape. Just keep going. I'm for the movement. I got the fist up. Just keep going. And so like I break away from like the main part of the pact, and then like this sweetest lady, I didn't even get her name, but she was flagging cars down for me who were in traffic, and she's like, hey, can you give this kid a ride back? And I was like, yo, like people are so nice. Like I was
And all the people in their cars like, fuck no, dude.
no, but okay, so yeah, you would think that, but this one guy, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a ride.
Hold on, is this still the story about how you got molested?
It could have led to that.
could have led to
Honestly, he gave me some peanuts, and they did taste kind of funky. Anyway, so he lets me get in the car, and I'm like, all right, cool. And like instantly, I regret it when he was the car, because like when I sat there, he's like, can you believe these fucking people blocking the freeway?
And you're like,
and
dude,
I
I
was
was
like-
literally just out there.
I was just like,
What do you think? I'm just standing in the freeway being like, get off the freeway, you punks.
like literally. And so like since they were blocking the freeway, I started having a panic attack. So like in that moment I was like, can they just get out of the fucking freeway already? Like no, I was sitting there and I was just like, I need to go, I want to go home, like I'm freaking out. And so like eventually he like stops at a gas station. I feel like I'm about to get fucking Ted Bundy'd right now. Like I don't know what's about to happen. Eventually I get dropped off. It's cool. But when I went to go look back at the Instagram posts during the time of what happened on that march on the freeway, Guess who was stuck in traffic? G-Eazy was stuck in traffic while we blocked the freeway, and people were taking pictures with G-Eazy as he was stuck in his Lamborghini.
Poetic.
He did not get out of the car.
On that day, because we worked like late as fuck, and like those because I worked at the warehouse, like the whole area was like lit red. Like they just had like, it was like all the lights were turned off except for like red lights. And our fucking manager at the warehouse was like, yeah, you guys need to leave, because if you leave and you're like on the road at like 9:30, you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, I think I'm thankful for the cramps. Because like, oh my, like at the start I felt like
I called Dane and I was like, can I stay at your house? Because I'm not going to make it to my house before
Honestly,
9:30.
that might have been the notification you got.
That is today.
Was it? I mean,
I don't think it's because the riots happened in November or October.
ours didn't break out into riots.
Well, whatever. I'm just grouping it all together.
Okay,
people did get arrested though.
But on my way to Dane's house, there was like mad traffic at this one spot. So I thought like, and I saw police lights. So I thought the police were like questioning people in their cars up in front of me. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm not even going to make it to Dane's house. And there's just a fucking car accident.
Yeah.
Like, you really had to destroy my fucking...
I got pulled over by the police once. I was with Carter and Jordan. We were just, hanging out, and we were like, yo, I'm hungry. Like, we weren't high. We were just hungry, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. So we were like, let's just go to Vaughn's and get food before they close. So we get top ramen. And while we're driving back, there's a police stop, and they pull us over. And, Jordan, I think, Carter's driving, rolls down the window. And the guy's like, what are you guys doing out this late? And we're like, we're just going for a food run. They're like, there's a curfew, right? Completely spaced our minds. Like, this is when COVID was at its worst. Like,
oh, okay, yeah, there was like a 9 o'clock curfew.
Yeah.
Like 10. It was very earlier.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, sorry, like,
what the fuck are you doing?
We just completely spaced, and there was like another cop circling the car with a flashlight, looking in. I was in the back seat with all the food, so I had all this like super salty, totally munchies food sitting next to me, and I'm like, I mean, if we do get asked to step outside of the vehicle, I could see why. But they were just like, okay, you seem good. And then we went on.
Every time the cops have like stopped me, I've definitely deserved it. Like, I have definitely deserved it, because I don't remember why, but all the time, I don't know why, but me and my friends would go hang out at Walmart really late at night.
That was the vibe.
Just for no reason. Like, we'd just be like, hey, do you want to go to Walmart right now?
I used to do that with a certain group of friends.
No money.
Oh, yeah.
Just walking around fucking Walmart being stupid.
Me and Dane used to just sit outside Tommy Hilfiger for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's only like certain friends you could do that with. Like, you have to have really...
The friends that I did that with Walmart, Kmart was the place to go because nobody was there, and they had the garden section, so you could just chill out in there and nobody would go there. The friends that I used to go to Walmart with, it was weird though. It was a bunch of like weird couples trying to form, but they were all too awkward. So it was like, let's go sit on the beanbags together. And
what we did is I would piss off the workers. So you know how they tell you like, oh, you can't ride the bikes that are on the racks. I'd be like, fuck that, give me the mountain bike. So I was on this mountain bike and I was like riding around Walmart like through the aisles, and I saw the clerk come around the corner, and I immediately on purpose turned the handles to the bike and just fell over. And I was wearing a jacket, so it didn't hurt, but I was being dramatic and made it seem like it was. And she's like, get off the fucking like, I used to pit, like, I don't know why I'm not on a banned list at Walmart, but anyway.
Dude, there's so many worse people that go to that Walmart. I mean,
definitely.
I've tweaking.
I've seen a video of someone who set off fireworks in a Walmart and just burned the whole shit.
I've seen that.
Yeah. But I remember this one particular night, Walmart was like closed, but it wasn't the normal time for it to be closed. So I was like, oh, that's whatever. And I was like, we should go to In-N-Out and we should take one of the carts and we should go through the drive-thru. That sounds fun. And so we were like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this. And so like I'm behind the cart, someone's in the cart, and then you know, a couple people are like just hanging out watching us laughing. And the car in front of us was like, oh, that's hilarious. Like they thought it was funny. And fucking there was someone in the mic, like in the In and Out, who's just like, yo, we know you're in the car. Get the fuck out of the car. We're not serving you. And I was just like, that's so like a joke, asshole.
I've
Like
seen people do that with
like you're still a paying customer.
Yeah.
like literally, like we weren't even doing anything wrong either. We were
guess
just there in the cart. But
It could be dangerous, but it's like if you're on a motorcycle, can you do it on a? I feel like
Yeah.
You can.
You can.
yeah.
Definitely can.
But anyway, so someone tells us, hey, you can't be doing that shit. And I'm like, all right, whatever. You're no fun. So we start walking. Okay, you know the In and Out by the theaters?
Yeah, the movie theater.
Yeah.
You know how you walk on the other side of the parking lot? There's a Jamba Juice and a Starbucks.
Yeah, well, the Starbucks on is actually it's gone. It's
So what we did is after that happened, we're like, all right, you guys just want to go to Starbucks? And we're just like, yeah, fine, because we usually hang out there anyway, like after a movie or whatever. So they're starting to walk, and I was like, hey, guys, fuck that, watch this, because I was pissed that they wouldn't let us go through the drive-thru. So what I did is I opened up the In-N-Out, and I stepped up on the table inside the In-N-Out, and I started yelling, I want to be the manager! I run this household! Like, just being a complete asshole. And the manager came out. He's like, get down from the table. I'm calling the cops. And, like, as soon as my friends heard cops, they booked it. Like, literally, all you see is, like, 6 to 7 kids just running across the parking lot trying to get to Starbucks. And this particular parking lot by the Starbucks, there's a big brick wall. Do you know which wall I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They climbed up that brick wall when the cops came. There was like 2 sheriff cars that came just for me. Like
They legit called the cops on you?
I felt kind of honored. I was like, you know what? That's cool. I got some street cred. Anyway, so they start climbing the wall, and I was like, I can't do that. This is an American Ninja Warrior. What the fuck are you guys doing? So what I had to do is they climbed the wall, and I was like, fuck, I'm screwed. I'm going to have to walk around the entire parking lot just to escape. Soon as I'm trying to do that, a cop comes in the parking lot, and they obviously know what I'm going to look like because the guy told them. So I got to evade that dude. I walk around the entire theater. I see the 2 cops parking, trying to find me, and I have all black on. Black shoes, black pants, black hoodie. I'm good. So I just pulled up my hoodie. I walked from that parking lot to the 7-Eleven 3 blocks down, and I evaded 3 cop cars.
It's so easy to get caught there, too. The police station is right there.
I walked past the police station, literally being like looked for, and like I went to
That's
7-Eleven.
a far walk too.
Yeah, that's like 30 minutes. Nah, not that long, but it's a
But
decent
on
walk.
top of that, my friend's phone was dead and mine was too, so I had no way of getting in contact with anybody. So I just took a limb and said, they're probably getting a Slurpee right now.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they were getting a Slurpee. So like I got lucky, and that's how I evaded the cops that one time.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Every time Dane and I go out late, like Nate and Ty included, everyone thinks we're high.
Yeah. Everybody.
I was just about to ask that.
Fucking-
Do you guys get this thing where random people come up to you and ask for weed?
Yes, I got a story about this.
I've had that at concerts, but never like out in public.
I've had it out in public, but I'm gonna let you tell yours first.
So, me and Seabass, I just called Seabass up because I was having a hard time with this girl, and I'm like, dude, can I come over? And he's like, yeah. So I drive down there, and we're hanging out for a bit. We're playing some Smash Bros. And Seabass says, fuck it, we're going to get shakes. I'm like, who the fuck is open right now that has shakes? Because it's like 11:30. And he says, Jack in the Box.
Always.
So we go to Jack in the Box and get shakes, and we park on the beach to like drink our shakes.
That's cute.
It is very cute and wholesome.
That is.
And
I'm a good friend for that.
We're sitting there just looking at, because pitch fucking black outside, so we're looking at the abyss. There's nothing to look at. Can't see the ocean, can't see the
empty
sky.
as his heart.
So like out of our peripheral vision, this cracked out lady like appears.
That's what happens with them. They just like appear from the void. They're just like,
Mine was a lot scarier than that, but
So me and Seabass take note of this cracked out lady. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. We're in a car. I got my shake. I'm just gonna ignore it. I ignore homeless people. I'll just ignore this. It's not a big deal. So she is like walking circles around our car. And eventually she's like waving at Seabass because Seabass is in the driver's seat. And Seabass kind of like waves back at her. And he's like, I don't know why you're waving at me. And eventually she motions Seabass to roll the window down. So Seabass steps out of the car.
That's the logical thing to do
Yeah.
in that situation.
Well, Seabass is armed
Oh God.
at all times. So Seabass steps out of the car with this fucking machete in his strapped onto his ass.
I thought you meant like a handgun.
No.
Like
Seabass, I don't think Seabass owns any firearms. I don't think his family does.
that's
but
hilarious.
everywhere we go, Seabass is like, here, take one of these. And he just gives me a knife. He's always got knives.
Always
on him,
prepared.
especially when he came to my house. But he's got this fucking like machete or some other big knife on his ass. And he's like, I'm ready to stab this bitch if something happens. So she says, you guys hotboxing? And Seabass says, I don't know what the fuck that means. And she says, well, then what are you guys doing? If you guys aren't smoking weed, what are you doing? And Seabass says,
Wholesomely drinking milkshakes.
Seabass is like, we're just fucking having our snack. And she's like, you guys need to go to bed.
Aw.
You've probably been on like a 3-day bender, lady. Like, back up.
This lady is a fucking Skeletor out here in the middle of the night, and she's telling us to go to bed.
That's
because
that.
we're not
That's that natural nurturing mother instinct. She's still cracked out of her fucking mind.
But she's still like, you
But
guys
she
need-
saw you guys
No.
and said,
She's like,
guys
these guys
should go to
don't
bed.
have fucking pot, so they should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them if they're not giving me.
mine was a lot more abrupt. We were like me and some friends, we were like sitting on the curb, like Palo Mesa Pizza, and like we were fucking stuffed, so like we probably looked high.
Good pizza too.
And every time I wear this certain sweater, it's a green and black flannel. Every time I wear it, I get asked if I have weed on me. So I'm wearing the flannel. We're sitting on the curb, and this Jeep comes into the parking lot. They see us and fucking screech around the parking lot, and they pull up to us. My friend Angel, he's paranoid. I'm paranoid as well. I think I'm about to get ready to fight somebody. This dude comes up and he's just like, yo, you guys have weed? And I was just like, no, dude, like, this is like the 5th time since I've worn this flannel I've been asked that fucking question. Like, no, I do not have it. And he's like, that's fine, dude. Just keep doing you. And I was just like, yeah, like, be safe.
That sounds like
And he just
Cali
drove
stoner,
off.
dude.
But the best experience I've had, crackheads. Let's be honest. The
You remember
fiends-
every crackhead that
the
you met.
fiends around this place are the most beautiful, funny encounters I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like I remember me and a friend were walking back from the theater and we were we were walking all the way from AG to Oceano.
Holy
and
shit.
we like it was like 11 o'clock at night too. And we
Jeez.
saw this lady yelling at the top of her lungs at a mailbox.
Let's go.
Funniest dude, I was laughing so hard, and then she heard me laugh and whipped her head around to look at me like it was a fucking
She's got her fucking
World
eye
War
all
Z
open.
character. Like, dude, I felt so
The
scared.
moonlight is perfectly glistening. So
I
you
was
can
like,
see
dude,
her.
I was like, if she starts running over here, I'm obviously not gonna outrun this bitch. Like, we need
She's
to
got
leave.
crack strength.
But that's not even the best one. The best crackhead story I have is me, Angel, my friend Louie. We're walking back from Taco Bell. We used to eat Taco Bell every weekend when we go to his house. And so we're walking back, and this dude, he's like this like compact buff Mexican with like a bunch of tattoos all over him. He's fucking ripped, but he's wearing a fireman's jacket around his waist, a beekeeper's hat, and like some like sandals. So like you clearly knew something
He's
was
the
wrong.
fucking main character, dude.
Yeah.
It was like watching Dead Rising if you were an NPC character. But anyway, so we're walking one way, he's walking the other way, and I don't know why, but I just looked at him and gave him a heads up, like that friendly, like, huh, like, hey.
What's
Yep,
up? Yeah.
He fucking looked at me and just like looked me up and down just with like the meanest look, and I was like, why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? So he passes me, and my friend Louis is like walking a little further behind us, and he passes him. And because I'm fucking paranoid, I start walking backwards like, hey, Louis, come on. Like, the new show of Big Bang Theory is going to come on in 30 Like, I was trying to make up a fucking excuse.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking backwards, like, making sure he keeps walking. And then he turns around. So I'm like, come on, like, hurry the fuck up, Louis. We're gonna miss Big Bang Theory. And he like turns around with like the meanest fucking look on his face. And then as soon as he comes up to us, he's like, hey guys. And I was like, huh?
Big Bang Theory.
I was like, he's like, can I show you guys something? And he was like really ecstatic about it. And I was like, sure, go ahead, like show us something. He's like, he grabs me, like, you know that meme of that Sandra Bullock movie with the fucking where they can't look at it? Bird Box.
Bird Box.
You know the meme where the one dude is holding the eyes open of the old lady while she looks out the window?
Yeah.
He did that, but like he had my shoulder in like a lock with his, and he was pointing. So he's like, fool, look at the mountains. And I was like, oh, wow, like, cool. And he's like, fool, like, you see the faces in the mountains? And I was like, yeah.
I do actually. Now that you pointed out,
They look really cool, dude. And he kept saying like that's all he was talking about. He's like, the fucking faces in the mountains. And like I was getting scared at that point. Like I was like, this is wholesomely scary. But
get arrested.
after that, we noticed like a bunch of scratches and like
that's
things on
mad.
his body. And I was like, hey, like I had no reason to be concerned about this man, but you know, I'm a nice person. So I said, hey, like, are you okay? Expecting a reasonable answer from him. And I was like, hey, like, is everything okay?
No,
Like,
there's faces in the mountains.
like I see a bunch of scratches on your body. Are you okay? And he said, no, the lady in the mountain tried dragging me down to hell. And I was like, that's it. We're watching Big Bang Theory. Let's fucking go. And I was like, sir, you have a fantastic day. And he's like, I will. And he was really happy. And then he started going back into his mean mug walk. And then I was like, that just might have been the scariest / most wholesome way I've ever met a crackhead in my life.
I have another late as fuck me and Seabass crackhead lady story.
Is it just me or is everything funny after 11 o'clock?
I think once you're reaching 1 a.m., that's when you're like, dude, I'll laugh at like an ant walking
like,
past.
It's so
no, literally,
weird.
it was Nate and I were coming back from Slow, like really late. Well, I think it was like 11. We were coming back pretty late. We had to go see like a play for a class, which that class sucked. Anyways, but we were coming back and I just saw a bunch of ants, and we were on like Pepper Street, and I just go, ants on the Pepper Street? And like we just started dying laughing.
That's
Whole
what I'm
30-minute
saying.
ride back home, we were just dying with me just going, Pepper Street?
There's got to be something where it's like Bermuda Triangle
like-
about that, to where like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but your brain just gets more retarded as
Yeah.
like the more you
It's
stay
because
up.
you're like tired. Even though you're not physically tired, your brain's like, dude, I'm gonna cut the corners. So it's like cutting straight
You don't
to that
need
dopamine.
it's
Yeah.
like sex without foreplay. Like you instantly get that climax of
Once
just having the
you-
funniest fucking thing ever.
If you're tired, it's literally like equal to being buzzed. Like they've done scientific studies on it. So, I mean, I don't know what feeling buzzed feels like,
That's
but
probably why. Oh,
But any-
I had my first beer today.
really?
Never doing it again. I hate it. Hate the
beer tastes
aftertaste.
like shit.
My dad was a fucking alcoholic. I have no reason to like beer.
What beer was it though?
I don't remember. It had this very citrusy
Mike's
taste.
hard lemonade.
No, it wasn't. It had
Isn't
like
like,
a blue and silver.
Oh, that's the
Blue Moon or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I
It's
think you're
like
talking about Red Bull.
Just drink a Red Bull.
Drink a Red Bull.
Dude, the
follow-
coconut blueberry Red Bull.
piss.
It does, dude. Diet Red Bull is one of the worst things I've ever tasted.
Remember when there was that whole thing in middle school that Red Bull was made of bull's cum?
I remember hearing
Do
that.
you remember that rumor?
I heard that.
I literally never drank Red Bull because of that.
Dude,
I've only ever had one Red Bull. It's blueberry flavored. It's pretty neat.
that one's real. That's the
Blueberry
only good one.
cum is actually really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Very interesting.
back in elementary school, so this is, like eons ago, there was this kid sitting next to me. He was like kind of a friend. He was like a year older than me. He was a little weird, but, he's always chill. Not like weird in a creepy way, just kind of like, the nerdy kid. I was like one of the nerdy kids. But he was like weird enough for me as a nerdy kid to realize, this guy's kind
You're
of
like,
weird.
get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get into the minutia, but he comes to school and he's like, "Hey, my dad made deer jerky." And I was like, "Sweet. I love jerky. I've never tried deer. I've heard it tastes pretty good." So I'm chomping on it. It's got like a weird like grid pattern on it, which is honestly probably just the thing that they put it on to like dry it.
Yeah.
But he's like, "You know where that pattern's from?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know." And he's like, "It's because it's the deer's penis." And for some reason,
makes no sense.
That makes no sense, but it was elementary school. But for some reason, I'm like, whatever. I'm going to continue eating it. Like, I don't care. Meat's meat. So, I'm just being a baller. But then he goes, "Hey, do you know where that pattern comes from?" Like, he asked the same question because he's like, dang, that joke didn't land. Let me do it again. And he's like, "It comes from the deer's penis." And then that time, my brain's like, get it out of your body right now. So I like spit it out and like rubbing my tongue. But for some reason, it took me till the second time. And I
be like,
still
"This
remember
is
that.
gross."
Yeah.
It was actually his carved up little brother.
I'm actually a cannibal.
Daddy can't afford 2 kids.
Oh, do you see that China is allowing 3 kids now? Because they're like, everybody's old in China. But now that means the Chinese population is going to go from like 1.4 billion to like 2 billion. And
This chicken wing shortage is going to be insane.
Literally. They poison the earth more than anyone else.
oh, by a long shot.
And they're just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Anyways, 11:30 p.m. Me and Seabass.
Okay, Dustin was talking
nuggets.
about what he's listening to the podcast, and he was just listening, and immediately you and Ty are just like, "Oh, want to talk about fascist leaders from the 30s and 40s?" And then
Literally, I was having a great, funny time listening to fucking Ty get his asshole fingered by a doctor. And then all of a sudden I hear, Stalin was really fucking hot, right? And then you guys go into this like economic crash. And I was like, why am I having a panic attack? And fucking...
anyways, 11:30.
11:30.
11:30.
Chicken nugget time, right?
Chicken nuggies.
Seabass comes over. We go to the McDonald's. It's literally like right next to my house. We're there. We order like 80 chicken nuggets because y'all know alone I could eat a fuck ton of chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Because I am Nate and Ty, so I would know that.
Exactly.
Dude, that's true.
He is.
Yeah.
So we're eating these chicken nuggets, and we're gonna be there for a while. It's a lot of chicken nuggets.
That's
for
a lot
you
of
guys
chicken
to go
nuggets.
through at like a leisure pace.
I'm thinking like 30 minutes minimum if you're going
Right.
leisure. Yeah.
Especially since we're chilling.
With
we got
dipping sauce or without?
I don't get dipping sauce. Seabass had
Okay.
dipping sauce, and it's like we gotta wait for them to get cooked because they don't have as many nuggets ready at 11:30 p.m.
yeah.
Makes sense.
We're gonna be there for a while. This cracked out lady comes in. She's like, I hear her talking to this other family, and she's asking them for something. And I'm thinking in my head, because I'm super judgmental. I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna fucking come over here. And I know Seabass is too like Seabass normally is like too kind sometimes. Like I know he'll get out with the machete. No
I was
problem.
gonna say too kind with a machete.
But most of the time, he's pretty chill, like overly chill.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to have to be the one to be like, no. And I don't want to do that because I don't like talking to people I don't know. So she gives up with that family. She comes over to our table and she's like, hey, I need a ride. And I'm like,
just blatant, hey, like
I'm going to cut to the chase here. I'm high.
and I
horny.
said,
I need a ride.
and this lady looks like she walked straight out of like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like she looks like a fictional character.
Looks like the grandpa from Courage the Cowardly.
Right, but a woman.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm like looking at her and I'm like, how can I say no without being fucking evil?
Without threatening my own life.
Oh no, I don't care about that.
Are you
I-
okay?
I almost
See the
killed a homeless
scratches on
lady
your body.
once.
You probably listened to the episode where Israel almost killed a homeless lady. Almost drove over the top of her.
God, the rage almost got to me.
Let the madness
Anyway,
consume you.
I'm 14. The madness is consuming me. So she's asking me for a ride, and I say, "Listen, we're gonna be here for a long time. You probably have better luck calling someone, or maybe going down the street somewhere else because we're gonna be here for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour."
I was like, that's all right, I'll wait.
And she's like, "Oh, I get it. Because I look like some weirdo." And I'm just like, in my brain, I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You get it.
But also, it's factually true that I'm going to be here eating chicken nuggets for the next possible hour. Some people, I can't.
After this podcast, do you guys want to go somewhere just to like try to run into a crackhead?
I don't know if I'll try, but if we
Not
are,
try,
then the
but, like-
7-Eleven is easy. That does like easy money.
As much as I'm down to do that, it sounds like something that could take a while, and I got to wake up for my second vaccine tomorrow.
Oh,
So
congrats.
early boys.
Facts. Getting zooted with the TikTok meme with the thing on the finger and the elbow. No, whatever.
I had this weird, not even a fetish, but like it was super entertaining. I would go on like X videos and type in crackheads getting fucked. like I don't know why. Like it's such a funny thing to watch. It's like some like very handsome black man just railing the fuck out of this disgusting, shriveled up, pimple covered crackhead with like no teeth, gray.
You're sitting there fully clothed, just like, this is hilarious.
like literally, I wasn't even like.
Well, I
doing
mean, from
anything.
like, it's like that video of that girl smoking out of her pussy.
That's true.
I wouldn't jack off to that, but I think
No.
that's fucking.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
hilarious.
God, I wish I could
Don't
find
tell
that
me
video.
you're gonna show me that
I think it was
I'd
on
love to show it to
4chan,
you.
so it was. I think it's long gone.
No, I had it saved on Reddit somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was like this girl. She had a cigarette up to her pussy, and her pussy was like puffing out and like sucking in like the smoke. And then she'd pull the cigarette out, and her pussy would queef cigarette.
Imagine that on America's Got Talent.
Super bad for your vagina. Don't do that.
Yeah,
actually.
if it's bad for your lungs, then it's not good for your genitalia.
That's
Anyways.
testicular cancer to the next level.
Yeah.
Put a cigarette out on my dick.
Yeah, you get testicular cancer as a woman if you do that. That's how bad it is.
Your eggs literally become balls and
Yeah.
then develop cancer. Your uterus falls out and they harden.
Crawls away.
Shriveled up black and just.
Man, I wonder how she figured that out. Like, she was just like, "Yo, let's."
I'm a gynecologist. I certify that smoking with your pussy is actually very healthy.
I wonder how.
That's how doctors from the
No,
60s were.
I was gonna ask that. I wonder how doctors came to that conclusion that like whenever you're just fucked up or just stressed, you're like, have a Winston cigarette, the best type of cigarette that you could possibly smoke in 1965.
Well, it used to be like,
Let's burn on your throat.
here,
Yeah.
we're gonna do a little role play here. So
right, let's
I
do
want you to call. I'm the doctor. I want you to tell me that your wife is kind of being a bitch lately.
All right.
This is Israel PhD, the only place where we commit hate crimes in the office. How can I help you?
Yeah, my fucking wife is being a total cunt.
Oh, I've got the exact prescription for that, actually. I've got it, on standby.
Thanks, Doc.
Come by and pick up this vibrator and tell that bitch to shut the fuck up.
Thanks, Doc. I really
right,
appreciate
sounds
that. We just got this new plug-in. The electricity, the connection to it is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't work. This one's got a battery. Just slap it right in there. Works like a charm.
I haven't bought my wife a watch because there's a clock on the stove.
Women can tell time.
Man, the 60s were awesome.
Dude, I miss women that you could just take your day out on.
What?
I don't even know how to come back from that.
Dustin's gonna go home to his beautiful girlfriend. She's gonna be like, "How's your day today?" Israel just told me he's gonna put a cigarette out of it on his cock.
I just need some time.
Eats the shit out of it.
I just need some time. Don't fucking talk to me. But why? We can talk about our day. Oh, Christ, abort the mac and cheese.
And then you're just like, I'm going to my room. I've got like 2 separate rooms. It's one of those.
I had a teacher who had the most weird way of raising her kids. She didn't spank them, didn't discipline them at all, didn't sleep in the same bed as her husband, and was just, she wore a fanny pack while she taught, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
It's very reasonable.
First thing, like, no, like, what is that? Not corporal punishment. Is that like
Corporal, yeah.
Oh, we bullied the fuck out of her for it. I was like, you don't sleep in the same bed as
Yeah. No corporal punishment.
You have to know where he's at 11 o'clock and not coming home. Like, you have to know.
But no corporal punishment. That's pretty. Okay, that was pretty. I can't burr. I've got nothing.
You suck.
I know.
I thought we were gonna have like a trio going on.
But no corporal punishment. That's pretty standard for like a modern parent at this point.
But then again, the whole class was filled with Mexicans who were like very
That's true.
disciplined. So they're like, "What? You don't beat your kids with a fucking pan? Are you crazy?
Are you dumb?
But not sleeping in the same bed, that's pretty weird. But the thing that really tops it all off is the fanny pack. Like if you're wanting to, unless you're like a European tourist, if you're wearing a fanny pack, or if you're trying to be trendy at this point.
It was Velcro with 2 zippers. And I was like, why do you need the 2 zippers? You could just have one big zipper.
What did she hold in it? Like chapstick? Was it like Napoleon Dynamite?
No one fucking knew.
Her gun.
Yeah, my punishment for my children is going to be I lock them in a room with 10 seagulls, and if they can't defeat all 10 seagulls, I get rid of them.
I'm gonna train my kid like this.
See, I was born to fight birds.
Yeah.
If my kids can't fight birds,
I don't know what to do with them.
it's over.
Yeah.
I can't continue that relationship.
State bird of Utah is the seagull.
Fuck seagulls.
California goal.
I just want to fight this shit.
I was at a beach one time and a little girl caught a seagull and her mom was like,
That is disgusting. Let go of that.
yeah, that's basically, she was like, just don't touch that. Put
Did
that
you hear
down.
about fuck it, let's get depressing again since
don't know.
that's
Okay.
all you do. You hear about the bird flu coming like resurrecting in China, but like with humans? Did you
Oh,
hear about-
great.
Sounds
China, why?
Every few years, China be like, yo.
That's why they have the 3-kid policy. It's not really real.
Yeah.
They came up with the bird flu to
Listen,
be like, look,
33% of our population is about to die again. Get to fucking. God
look,
damn it.
you can have 3 kids, but we're not saying those 3 kids are going to be healthy
Yeah.
3 children.
This is medieval Europe again. Fuck it. 6 kids.
6 kids.
And the 2 healthiest ones you can keep.
We are banning contraception of all kinds. Just have children.
And if they don't have perfect gymnast body by the time they're 10, straight to the manufacturing plant.
Politics and religion scare me. Like, I don't want to be that like incel type where I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking atheist. Like, but it's like, dude, like, I don't have any real reason to like believe in something, nor am I like, I think the word libtard is really cringe.
It is pretty cringe, but that's what makes it pretty funny.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I think libtard originally was
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Eventually, it became overused, and it's like, okay, whatever, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But the best part about libtard is that it still makes liberals angry.
It does.
No, but like the thing is like, that's why like I don't even know what I am. Like I can't say I'm left, I'm right, I'm this, I'm that. Like
You're Dustin.
if it
You're
exactly
Dustin. That's what the last episode was called, the Dustin.
if it's right, then like you know what I mean? Like if it's the right thing to do,
Yeah, which is
you should do it.
I agree with
there
that.
shouldn't be an argument on what's right.
I would say I'm no on, if I were to take a political compass test, like I know where I'd end up.
Like
But at the same time, I don't want to know like what political party I stand for. Excuse me. There it is. That was a terrible one though. But I don't really want to know what political party.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be put into a box.
I don't
want
wanna
to
be,
I think
There's
this
no
thing,
political
common sense
advocate
makes-
that's good for you except for you. I'm
Yeah.
just the only one who wants to Bring back killing our leaders and replacing them with the men who killed them.
That'd be yo. Imagine if fucking Oswald replaced Kennedy. I'm gonna teach America how to shoot a gun and curve a bullet at the same time.
You know what's crazy though? It's like that's the thing is they never totally proved it. So what if he becomes president and he's like, right, I killed him.
Yeah.
And the guy who actually killed him is like, oh, that was my plan the whole time.
You copied my whole fucking flow. Word for word, bar for bar.
Dude.
Do you guys have like a real like I fucking love conspiracy theories, but I'm also a really anxious person, so after I'm done watching it I don't sleep for 3 days. But like what's a conspiracy that you have that you like know is like logical and it makes sense?
Europeans aren't human,
But we're technically European.
especially the British.
We are.
I'm British.
I know.
I'm native and white, so I raped and stole my own land. You know how fucked up that is?
That's pretty, yeah. I mean, the Japanese kind of did the same thing. A lot.
Conspiracies that I believe in.
I don't think I have any.
I mean, our own government just confirmed that UFOs were real. That was the tightest shit that like no one
Here's a fucking easy one. Jeffrey Epstein definitely did not kill him.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
I think we can all agree about.
Yeah.
Like
The guard just happened to be like, oh, what's that over there?
that is such
This
bullshit.
coffee tastes really good. I'm gonna stare at it for like 4 hours.
This is like honestly my like biggest issue with politics, but especially politics in America.
Then your house is gonna get bombed after he's finished.
Is
Oh, definitely.
LOL. Is that like every politician is like, I know what's good for you, and you're like, okay, but you don't, and you're like, I want to protect myself. And your politicians say, you don't need to protect yourself. You have the police. But the police aren't there to protect you. The police are there to protect the city, which isn't you. You're just in the city. The city is the politicians. So when politicians break the law, they're okay. That's why Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, in quotes, and it's still confirmed that he killed himself, in quotes, because the people in power are just allowed to get away with that shit.
Yeah.
So technically, Black Lives would matter if it was the name of a skyscraper.
Yeah.
Fuck the government.
Well, I mean, they have. I went to Black Lives, the BLM Avenue or whatever, right out front of the White House. I took a picture of it. I was like, this is like really important. Like, this is, you know, whether you agree with them or not. Like, this is something that.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's like the fucked up part about it is because it's a true statement. Black lives matter. They're not saying that like other people's lives don't. They're
Yeah.
just saying, hey, like us over here, we fucking matter too. We want, you know, to do shit y'all have. And then like they get a bad rep because like it goes fucking haywire when like all these politicians and fucking
Yeah.
crazy policemen fucking don't agree with it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Blue Lives Matter too. Like, that's true as well. All lives matter too. And you get that. Like, that's true. But at every single one of them, it's
the
like.
rep. Because when you say
Yeah.
blue lives matter,
You immediately, you're like,
there's no
oh.
such thing as a blue life. It's just a person who chose to be a cop.
Yeah.
Do they matter? Yes, if they are a good person. If they're a piece of shit that's following what they're getting, because there's obviously cops who are like, I'm gonna make a difference from the inside, like,
And they get fired.
and then they get
Yeah.
fucked over because
Which is one of the dudes who got went on the cop who went on the killing spree, pretty recently got fired because he tried to make a difference and then he just went haywire, like he just cracked. I don't know when that happened. I don't know if it was recently or like a few years ago and then it resurfaced, but something wild. Like I think it was in the Bay Area.
fucking the amount of massacres, like the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but like there was like black cities in like the 1800s that were thriving.
Yeah.
They had their own, like they had their own everything. They had businesses. They were like, you know, they were living a good life just as Black America with their own dollar pretty much that they like, you know, that connected throughout the whole city and they were, you know, had a really thriving place. Fucking the white people weren't fucking with that shit. They're like, look at these motherfuckers. Like, and they went over through a whole city and killed like 1,500 people and just completely wiped out the city. Fucking, you look at the city now, you like when you think of Tulsa, Oklahoma, you don't think of a thriving city. You think of just like some couple burnt out
Think of
homes,
Oklahoma.
Anywhere
fucking
in Oklahoma.
a couple abandoned houses, and that's it. But it's like, dude, like,
Well,
I wish people would use that logic.
it's even worse than that.
That's what I'm saying. It's even worse. That's why I wish like people would use that logic of like when they hear of Black Lives Matter, they're just like, that's Antifa and they're coming to take my fucking 4x4. And
Yeah,
like,
I think
it's
we
like,
talked
no.
about this with Izzy after the last podcast. Yeah.
But the thing is that like even as recent as like probably 70 years ago, there's this like town in Florida, and there's these black families living in the suburbs, right? And like you said, white people weren't fucking with that, so they show up and they start like attacking all these black people in their own neighborhood, and the cops are just there doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because the cops, who are supposed to be, they protect the people. They don't. Protecting the people, just letting it happen because they're racist. Which is like, I don't believe all cops are racist, but I think that's definitely a point towards, hey, what the fuck is wrong with the police?
They should, all right, this is going to blow your fucking mind. They should segregate America, but put all the racists in the hottest part of the country and like cut off their water supply.
That's already where they are.
No,
Yeah.
but then like keep all the black people and be like, hey, it's safer over here.
What you
like,
do then is you move all the agriculture. You somehow move all of the agriculture out of the Central Valley.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's dry, there's nothing, it's wicked hot, it's smoggy. All of the LA smog eventually moves up into there, and from the Bay, too. So it's like some of the worst air quality in the world at certain points in the year. You just take all the racists and you put them in the Central Valley. There's already a lot there.
The Central Valley can't get any worse, but somehow you've made it worse.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I don't know it's some of the most fertile land in like the whole world next to like rainforests.
But the whole segregation thing doesn't work because you create that divide and then they're seen as outsiders, which just makes them even more violent and racist.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
Get destroyed with facts and logic.
Libtard.
No, that's a crazy thing to think that World War I was supposed to be the Great War.
The war of the end of
all
wars. Yeah.
Yet in the Great War, there was an outfit called the Harlem Hellfighters.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of black soldiers who were literally given to the French by the United States because they said, "Hey, you're not gonna fight with us." Why the
French were pretty progressive.
Well, the French were like, we'll fucking take whatever we can.
Yeah. No. So that's what happened. They like all these black soldiers were either left to the Canadians or the French. And there was this one guy, I forget his name, my apologies, but in the night he was in his bunker and he heard and he was wondering what the fuck it was. It was people, Germans, cutting the barbed wire to get past his post. What happened is he was fighting for what he said seemed like hours, killed 4 men, and by all the equipment that was left behind, they said maybe 30 to 40 people could have been there. What happened was the French gave him a medal for his bravery and what he did. The thing is, he wasn't acknowledged by the U.S., and he was just left to die. He died in 1929, I believe, without a penny to his name, because that's just how fucked up the United States was. He was injured from that battle, so he didn't get any check from the government or anything, so he couldn't work either. So it was like
veteran benefits were totally reformed during the Vietnam War. Like you didn't really get much benefits until then.
Because that was before
Vietnam vets, white or black,
PTSD was a thing.
Yeah.
Vietnam vets, white or black, weren't even getting any help. If at all, because like you fucking look at them, some dude's in a wheelchair, and like you could fucking like pretty much go back to like the whole Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like,
exactly.
If you had no legs and you were stuck in a wheelchair, you could barely get like maybe $15 every couple months Like nobody ever knew. So you have all these veterans that are being fucking crackheads, meth heads, da 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 da. It's like I always refer back to like punk songs and stuff where they're just like, why don't the politicians fight the war? Why do you have to send these people?
Like go back to the era of Napoleon, except he always ran away. But when he didn't, he was kind of a baller.
Well, it's like for most of human history, the politicians were like, fuck it, I'm taking my personal army and destroying French people.
Instead of Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, imagine like fucking Donald Trump and like Kim Jong-un on a fucking headline for TikTok.
I could see Kim Jong-un on a horse, but it would take me some convincing to see Donald Trump on a horse.
World War I, we had, African-American troops in Britain as well, and like there were in the American like volunteer division that was there, it was mixed race, and like a bunch of the white troops were like, yo, you gotta segregate these pubs because I ain't drinking with no blacks. And so the pubs started putting up British and blacks only signs so that white Americans couldn't.
Man,
That's actually
the
tight.
British used to be so cool.
I have like
They used to be. And the French did too.
that's what
Now
I'm saying.
they're just like the butt of every
in
joke.
terms of that though, like acknowledging that like black people are people before like the US were even like, I don't know, fuck these people. Like I give them respect for that. Like that's fucking tight. But I do have a story, one like war story.
Oh, I think that's kind of a meme because they're the ones who enslaved the blacks that they put in America.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's one big fucked up circle. But I knew this one World War II veteran who lived by my house. His name was Dorn, and he flew over.
Tight name.
He flew over Berlin. Was in those fucking B-17s, just fucking
Yeah.
He was on those crazy dangerous missions during World War II. So I would always go over to his house and I'd ask questions like, yo, what was it like? Like, what was like the atmosphere like? And he'd always tell me about these cool stories about like flying over Berlin. And the movie Red Tails had came out.
Yeah.
It's about the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II.
I saw that movie. It's an okay movie, but it's
But like,
it's good.
Yeah, it's what happened. So for the listeners that don't know what it is, it's a bunch of black fighter pilots who weren't really given the right to fight during World War II, but eventually they got a couple missions.
They got like the worst
They're like
planes.
some of the most decorated fighters in the war. But anyway, I like that movie had dropped, and like at the time, I'm a fucking big war buff, so I'm just like, yo, that was cool. I didn't even know like what the Tuskegee Airmen was. Blah, blah, blah. And I fucking go over to his house and tell him, and I was like, yo, like there's this movie. I know you don't like watching movies, but like the Tuskegee Airmen, da da da. And I asked him about it, and he said those goddamn N-words didn't do shit. And I was like, okay. And then I never really talked to him after that. And then he died, and then I was just like, like
one less racist person, I guess. But
yeah, it was.
Thanks for defeating the Nazis, though.
yeah, that's a weird thing where it's like, man, that guy's really racist, but he also did some really cool stuff.
It's kind of just like a throw. Like, how do you deny what a person is? Like, I'll never, because I'm not a.
It's so fucked because it's literally like Europeans went to Africa, bought slaves or physically enslaved them, brought them over to the Americas, and then we're like, check it, we got slaves. And everyone was like, okay, the slaves are going to do manual labor. And then like somewhere along the way, they were like, you're an inhuman because you're a slave, and you're a slave because you're inhuman.
And that's the crazy part, that the coolest and like craziest things built weren't fucking aliens. You just throw slaves and human suffering at a fucking pyramid, and then it's built.
Pyramid.
Like,
Actually, I'm pretty sure the pyramids have evidence that it was paid labor.
Really?
That built them. Yeah.
oh,
Well, apparently the Washington Monument is built by slaves.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And probably Jefferson's Manor, too.
America.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein's Island.
Are we going to go tie mode and be like, America's the worst first world country?
I know we said we'd end on a high note, but it's not looking that way.
Let's talk about the cool stuff America's done. Like
The 27 Club.
What's the 27 Club? Oh, is that every rapper?
Every musician in our time who's died at the age of 27.
Yeah,
They're like-
a lot.
I think that shit's, I'm not in the music industry as much as you guys are. So to me, I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. Because oftentimes it's like, I'm such a hardcore motherfucker. I do drugs. And then they're like, yo, so-and-so died of a drug overdose. And you're like, yeah, well, I mean, come on. They were singing about how much drugs they did.
Yeah.
Nah, but the fucked up thing is like, obviously the world's probably not going to get any better. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think we're always on a constant upslope of getting better.
But then there's like always like a thing that's just like, no, and just like kind of slaps us back down. So I had this theory. It's not a theory, but like it's like something really bad to think about. I had this whole thing where I was just like, I'm going to try super hard at music and do as much stuff as possible to make my name like out there. And then I'm going to kill myself at 27.
I can't say I condone that,
Yeah.
but I get it, I guess.
You'd have to have some kind of recognition already.
That's what I'm, because
explode,
I
though.
can't be a part of the 27 Club. It's like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and then Dustin. Like that makes no sense. Like I have to be like, but then again, like I only thought about that.
How old was Mac Miller? He was 26? He was like almost 27.
He was on like I think he was like almost 27.
Yeah.
But the only reason I will do that is if the world is a piece of shit, I've done everything I've set out to do, and like I genuinely have no other ideas. That's a tough subject.
Yeah. I think you'll still have ideas.
I feel so too, but
I want to be cryogenically preserved or whatever
like Fallout 4.
until like I can be revived, so I can be like, yo, what's up, future society?
But then again,
How
like,
crazy are body mods right now?
I don't know if I'd want to do that because like you don't know anybody. Like the world as you knew it isn't what it is.
Well,
I don't think
Futurama's
that
taught
would
me
really
anything.
bother me.
You'll be fine.
From my perspective, it's like I just have a harder time like relating with people. So when it's like you're gonna be alone, it's like okay, well I already feel that way. Which is like I get it's going to be exaggerated at that
My
point.
future girlfriend has not been born yet. She's in fucking. She's in 2,438.
But my
That could be
main
taken out of context really easily if you cut out that year.
the main reason I'd want to be brought back to life in a time where I can extend my existence
Ideal age though.
is because I have too many things I want to master before I say goodbye to existing forever.
Okay. But what's your idea? Like, what age would you want to be because you don't want to be 87. Like,
Well, that's
this looks
that's
good.
why you wake up in the future and you're like, what's up with body mods? And they're like, we can literally take your fucking brain out and put it in a silicon printed younger body. That's what I'm waiting
Like
for.
Blade Runner, but they're not fully.
You specifically put that on your chamber, like, yo, don't fucking take me out if we can't switch bodies. Like,
Exactly. I don't want to like pull up and be a fucking cripple. I want them to be like, what's up? Welcome to society. We plugged you in the new body. You owe us $50 billion trillion. And I'll be like, great.
Just check
I'm
your
gonna go
bank
learn
account.
Greek.
Just
I invested in Bitcoin before everybody died.
Bitcoin got erased. And I'm just like,
I have no money then.
I'm like, how does the American dollar still hold value? They're like, America hasn't existed for 3,000 years. They're like, you're literally ancient.
is there still plastic in the ocean?
It's called the UK.
It's called Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
The Kardashians are somehow still alive. They're made of so much plastic.
They
that they're
talk more
literally-
robotic.
There's been an adjustment to your will. We put yours and your wife's brain into the same body. I hope you're okay with that. She made the changes after.
Imagine that's the new transgender. That would be tight.
That'd be kind of wild.
That would be incredibly sad. I actually have a story that I kind of wrote about a similar thing like that, which I don't want to spill the full details out on a recording. But if you're interested, I'd be more than happy to share after.
Death is the most beautiful, selfishly saddening concept.
It's really dude, for some reason randomly, like right now I feel like I'm just getting like happier and happier as a person as it's like things are getting better.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, I'm thinking about death more. And it's really weird. It's like a weird catch-22.
I feel that because like I had a conversation with my grandma before she passed, like a year or two before she passed, about the existence of God before she died. And we were just talking, and I told her, and I was just like, you know what? I know it's your whole spiel. You love going to church. You love all that. You love the concept of it. I just can't believe in it. And
she was like, get the fuck out of my house, you little editor.
The greatest thing she possibly could have told me is she said, that's okay. And like, I don't know why, but like, I wasn't expecting the answer. Because when you think of like a Catholic or a Christian, you're like, you should fucking believe in him, or he's gonna come and banish you to hell. Like, but she's like, no, that's understandable. I know what you've been through. Like it makes sense why that's just not you. And it felt so warming to hear that for once, because like you have that whole thing where it's like people of certain religions always think they're the right religion. Like, if it's cool for you, amazing. It gives you hope. It gives you a sense of relief, and like
again,
it brings you peace when you go, and it brings your family peace when you go. But it's like I don't know, like.
And you die, and you wake up, and Anubis is like, what's up, guys? We're doing a soul review here. As you can see, this guy's soul weighs more than a feather, and if you're a longtime viewer, you know that is not good.
Like, it's weird. I think I'd be a lot happier if God didn't exist. Like, if it was just, like, I was watching this one video, and it was saying what's gonna happen in like trillions and trillions of years, and it said like how we're all just gonna be dust floating through the universe.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why.
The primordials.
But instead of having like an anxiety attack about that, I felt really peaceful about that, because it's like, even though we're dead, we just float off into space. Like, I don't know why, but like I think that's the most peaceful way to ever think about death, is that
you're before that
everything
like
and everyone is just gonna become this one big thing.
Why does my dad let that stupid dog out?
Dane hates dogs, guys.
He does. He just hit it. No, Dane, don't hit the dog. No, don't stop hitting the dog, please.
Guys, I just got back from
serial animal abuser Dane. Back on campus.
There's gonna be a new TikTok fight hosted this weekend. It's Dane versus Michael Vick. Tune in, buy tickets. They're selling out very fast.
Yeah. When I took astronomy, it was like,
I didn't know you were into astrology.
Dude, I totally am. I'm a Scorpio.
You're a little bitch.
Yep. Anyways, that's what
I think I'm an Aries.
I know what I am. I just lie about it. Yeah, it's I don't know. Religion's crazy, and I'm a religious person, but even I'm just like,
what do you believe in? Like, that's the thing. Like,
he believes in
I can sit here and just be like, "Oh, you're fucking stupid." Like, that's not real. But it's like, each religion is beautiful in its own way.
I agree with that. Yeah,
because like
agree with that.
Being a Muslim and a fucking Christian or a Catholic, like, it could be the weirdest shit to me, but like, it's still cool to be like, yo, like, you're part of something, and you have that hope of like, yo, there was a man and he fucking did all this cool shit, and now like I want to be like.
Sure, it's ungendered entity, actually.
God actually uses the pronouns they, them.
He actually uses the pronoun God. So
he's very popular in New York when they say, "Hey, what's up, God? Yo, God, what's up, God? You good, God?"
I'm not the biggest cheerleader for God or anything, but I figure if God exists, they are forgiving. So if I pull
that's
up
what I
heaven,
never got. How is God forgiving yet he's gonna banish you to hell?
Because Jesus died.
Yeah. I think, I don't know.
That was always like the crazy thing.
A lot of people get caught up in hell. I don't know if there really like is
like, obviously Adolf Hitler should be in hell, but if you fucking rob a 7-Eleven and stuff a couple brownies in your
Straight
back
hell.
pocket to feed your family that's
Yeah.
starving.
Torture done.
Or even like not like something like that, where even like you're a good person but part of a different religion.
Like when I was little and I was like very religious still. Like I remember I think I stole a pack of Pokemon cards from Walmart and I cried.
Fuck.
I was like,
I've sinned.
It's literally like $3, probably like
I'm going to hell for getting this Charizard. Fuck, it better be worth it.
20 cents in manufacturing, and you're going to hell. That's so sad.
Fuck. It's got to be less than 20 cents.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think I wrote a poem in a class where I just kind of like brushed it. It was like I talked about it on another episode where it was like I was in regular English comp for like a week in high school, and the first assignment was write an essay about the meaning of life. And I was like, God, I'm not even supposed to be in this class. Why? And they were like, oh, you could write a poem. Oh, okay. So I just sat down and wrote a poem in like 30 minutes. So I was basically in like one part I was talked about like how I didn't believe in like the concept of how we think of hell as like fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Where-
what the fuck is brimstone? What is that?
What do you mean? What is
It's always funny when people say,
Wait, what is
say,
brimstone?
you know,
Exactly.
hell sounds a lot more badass than heaven. And it's just like, well, yeah,
Okay.
probably a lot of
Are you
cool people.
fucking
Yeah.
edgelord?
Even if anything, like I think even like the simulation theory where it's like, oh, we live in a simulation implies a higher power at the end of the day, because that implies somebody's running the simulation.
This is a fucked up video game.
Yeah.
0 stars on fucking
You're sitting there,
IGN.
you're like, this is a computer, and you're telling me that fucking guy got wrongly convicted? Are you serious?
God isn't even
That's
past
it?
prestige. Yo, that slavery level that God really messed up on, not fucking
He's
with
just
it.
doing a bit of griefing, honestly.
He's doing a little bit of trolling. Yeah.
That was always the
No,
craziest
he was trolling when he fucking spawned in Genghis Khan. He was fucking Genghis Khan.
He's a third of the world.
He's got a quote where he's like, perhaps if you had not sinned.
That was God deleting his characters that he didn't play as.
Oh my god. But Genghis Khan has a quote where he's like, perhaps if you had not sinned, God wouldn't have sent me upon you. And I'm just like,
That's so
fucking crazy. Literally, Genghis Khan was the fucking delete button of all the characters he didn't want to use anymore.
Yeah.
that man fucked so many women.
I had a lot. Well, it was mostly rape. So I don't know if we're gonna give like a bro fist to him.
I'm not bro
but
fisting him. I'm just saying he fucked a lot.
He did.
What I want to know is when you blow yourself up, where do the 72 virgins come from?
They're actually running out of virgins in heaven.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I've heard. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about the Muslim
There's a,
religion,
like a waiting line.
but I've heard that might be like a slight mistranslation or like a misread, westernized.
instead of the part
Now serving 33.
in Boss Baby where it's the two little strips where you either come to
Oh my
Earth.
god, it's dead babies. Technically.
When you come to Earth or you go to the office, it's a virgin who's either born or goes to the waiting room for the Muslims.
Oh,
Man,
God.
that's dark.
Jesus.
That's a crazy way to think about it. But
There's something else cool that I was gonna say.
You're gonna die, actually.
yeah, I am. I really am.
Oh, there was something cool I was gonna say, but I can't remember what I was gonna say.
No,
Oh, it was
definitely
something
inside
before like
job.
the simulation theory thing.
Yo, you know?
Oh yeah, but at the end of the day, even if I wasn't like Christian, I think I'd still be a spiritualistic person.
That makes sense.
Nerd.
Where it's like I'm just so like
Sitting there with your rock.
into. I don't know about the rocks thing, but that is still like a spiritualistic. But
crystal is gonna help you think.
cum rock.
it's so weird is
sunlight for 23 hours, and it's going to give me good vibes.
dude, I get ads for those stickers
my
where these.
Deo.
It's like this smiley face sticker was tuned to 423 hertz, which is like a major, like a natural.
I'm gonna give a girl a fossil of a fish so she could put it on her pussy so it stops smelling.
Man, that's so deep.
Fuck a crystal, bro.
Not as deep as her pussy.
Oh shit!
That's wild.
You know what's a funny joke? My grandma
No,
told me.
tell me.
She's an edge. She was an edgelord because I made her. No, but I asked her, I was like, Grandma, was 9/11 an inside job? And she's like, no, it was an outside job. Planes.
It's kind of fact.
It's fact.
She's not wrong.
She was not wrong.
How do we know Dustin didn't construct the 9/11 crash? I mean, he didn't die in the plane crash.
Yeah,
I was actually March 24th, 2000.
You could have done it.
So I flew
I was born
to
a
Miami,
month before.
orchestrated the plan from Miami. FBI raided my house, so I had to leave. I hooked up with my name.
You were the boss baby. That's how you could do it.
Hooked up with my boy Alisham Malehum. And yeah, we ran.
You were
some
born with like 300 IQ, and you're like, I need to get to the Middle East.
dude.
I learned how to say Middle East in Japanese the other day.
Really?
Yep, it's just you get to chapter 11 of Genki, and it's like, this is how you say the Middle East, and you're like, I don't know why.
After that whole thing you guys had about China taking over the world, as soon as I listened to that podcast, I was on Google for like 30 minutes.
How do I erase China
No,
from the map?
no, I was on Google for 30 minutes on Google Translate trying to learn the words "don't shoot" in Chinese.
There's 2 Chinese languages.
Yeah.
I know. I probably.
You had
Oh,
to
there's
learn it
even
in
more
the
than that. There's 2 standardized Chinese languages, but then it goes deep.
Bro,
China
I'm
barely even
fucking
exists. as a
yelling
country.
at some soldier like, "The food is good. The food is good."
And he's like, I'm Korean. I speak English.
Yeah.
Literally, just tell me what
I was
you want.
conscripted after, they took over the world.
You guys have seen the movie Red Dawn, right?
I've never even heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Great
haven't watched
Patrick Swayze movie from the 80s.
Patrick Swayze's Red.
It's about like fucking China and Russia like taking over the US, like coming here and just like going through. And there's a bunch of fucking high schoolers who are like guerrilla fighters, like just like fucking them over and just like bombing tanks and stealing all their shit. And I was like, if someone ever did invade the US, would I just be a pussy and be like, oh, yep, I guess they're our leaders now,
Well,
and just kind of follow
You're in
what they
one
say?
of 2 spots they'd invade. And it's, most likely we'd get invaded on the West Coast at this point.
Yeah.
Because it almost happened in World War II. They had fucking U-boats, German U-boats off the coast of New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Like on standby.
It was never like a land invasion. If any country invaded us by land, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just so fucked.
Because even all the fucking people
That's
here
legit
have
what
guns.
the Second Amendment is. That's actually what the Second
It's
Amendment
not
is for.
like it's not like they're fucked as in we're guaranteed to win. It's they're fucked as in it's like being in Vietnam. Where the reason we couldn't win in Vietnam, even though we had less casualties than the other side, is because it was
knew how to get around their
fucking
backyard.
crazy guerrilla warfare. Where it's like in America, it's even
Shit
worse.
covered spikes in a hole? Hello?
Yeah, but in America, when fucking half the households here who aren't the military also have guns, it's like, okay, the Japanese have landed. Oh, they're gone.
Let's go camp out in a
Not
McDonald's.
only
Fucking
would they have to
terrorize 'em.
deal with the households and the army that are both armed, because, I mean, you may not be in the military, but if someone is invading your city and you're like, dude, this is my stuff, that puts a whole nother perspective in your mind. And you're like, I have a gun and this is my stuff. This is my way of life. It's either I have nothing or I die. Both are the same. So you just get into that sense of I need to protect everything. And then if they manage to get past that, there's the Midwest.
Yeah.
And they just have to drive through the Midwest until they get to another just as well-developed part of America. But now they have to supply that shit from the ocean through the Midwest.
Were you on that whole terrified thing when the whole shit about North Korea nuking us was a thing?
People who think we
Yeah.
would be bombed by North Korea or Iran are fucking idiots.
That
I mean,
don't-
we have
I don't think we have that.
anti everything.
It was like for like that whole meme where everyone's like, guys, Trump's gonna start World War III with Iran. No. Iran doesn't have the allies to start World War III.
Yeah, you have to have allies. That's the thing is both world wars.
You look
just,
at
like,
the access
really-
and allied powers.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude.
And you're like,
it's like
I get it.
half of these countries are with each other, and then half of these countries are with each other.
And then the
right?
Cold War immediately after was like, okay, we're cutting the world in half, and that half hates the other half.
Yeah.
Iran doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Neither does North Korea.
Like
North Korea has China, who's like, yo,
you guys, we're
we
both.
kind of
I
want
think
to
that's what
exist.
freaks
Yeah.
people out, because when you think of China, you just think of all these fucking bodies that are just
Right.
like, yo, that's too much.
But the bodies in China never meant anything. It didn't stop the Japanese. It didn't stop the British. It didn't stop the French, the Portuguese. It didn't stop anyone. It's only ever stopped other Chinese people and the Mongols. But the Mongols still kicked their ass a couple times.
The Mongols are always a weird exception, and that's a joke in Crash Course, isn't it? It's like the Mongols are always an exception.
The Mongols had no reason to conquer the world. Like they had absolutely.
They're from like the most like desolate desert in the entire world, the Mongolian desert.
They had nothing except horses and sticks with knives, and they fucking took it. The reason it shattered immediately after Genghis Khan died is because there was nothing they could do to hold an empire that big.
Hey, Israel. Hey, why do you?
All right, thanks for listening to episode 45 of the CTTV podcast.
I want to be stereotyped. I want to be classified. Oh, I gotta show you guys that song.
Okay, cool.
Wait,
Anyways, but yeah, it's actually we're running like over, so
It's
and we've
always
got
with
Pi
me
waiting.
too. Always.
Oh, I let it run over. I don't care. I'll pay the extra.
yeah, are we supposed to be annoyed that we're having a fun conversation?
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
Will you shut
gonna
the
keep
fuck up?
going.
I just don't want to talk to you anymore.
You're
Now
gonna,
that you've- now
you're gonna
that
have to
you've
pay
mentioned-
$4.99 for the
Now
rest
that
of
you
my fucking
mentioned
set.
that this song or this podcast is too long, I don't want to talk anymore.
Thanks for listening to episode 45 of the CTTV
You just gave me the rest of that
podcast.
sentence for free.
Dustin, would you like to shout anything out real quick?
Yeah, shout out
Me
to
naked.
Not Safe for Work Twitter. I will be posting a cock pic later tonight, and you can check that out.
I'm not going to look
Didn't even
at
know
that.
you had a cock.
I don't. It's tucked underneath my stomach.
Thank you.
Bye.